Hey y'all, what up, what up, what up, what up? Oh boy, so I know I just ended a stream and we were on a trail and I received an urgent enlightening video that could explain a lot of what we were exploring. Howdy Dank, howdy Aiken. I don't know what else I can say about this. So without further ado, this is an interview with a lot of pertinent information in it. So I'm going to play it. And we can stop if anyone wants to join and ask questions or whatever, but I think you'll get a lot out of it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. All right. So y'all see what you think. You go over there.
That Budweiser fire and rescue crew to rescue you after you drink their beer and crash is all part of the Mother Goose Parade in El Cajon, California. We're here to visit the Unarius Academy of Science, right down the block there, where since 1974, earnest seekers of the truth have come to hear the ideas and teachings of 93-year-old Ruth Norman, better known to her followers as Prince Uriel.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yes, that's right, loyal boob tube addicts. Spaceships from all over the galaxy are coming back to Earth in 2001, each one bearing 1,000 inhabitants from 32 other planets to bring happiness and wisdom and make life happy forever after on planet Earth. But this is only a small part of the so-called science of Unarius. One method Unarians employ to better understand themselves and what brings them to a place like El Cajon is their own unique form of past life therapy through their own unique form of psychodrama. What may look to you or me.
Some of us call that LARPing. So I think that we can relate a lot of what this gentleman's going to present here as the characters we see right here on YouTube. I'm going to check y'all real quick just to make sure, that the sound is coming through. Okay. And yeah, it has a lot to do with Uranus. And you'll see, anyway, you know, feel free to jump in at any time if you want to add your comments, and I'll try to check back with you. So let's see what this is about. This explains a lot.
Like one of the greatest Halloween costume parties this side of the San Francisco Gay Parade is actually a scientific method of diagnosing problems and illnesses by uncovering some heinous or horrible crimes you may have committed in a past life. Were you a cannibal? Were you a Republican? Were you Genghis Khan? But don't take my words for it. The Unarians are not alone in their fascination with UFOs.
It's been in Uranus the whole time, folks.
Life in outer space. Richard Nixon and Jackie Gleason supposedly went to a CIA base in Nevada to view crashed spaceships. Elvis Presley was interested in UFOs.
Yeah.
And notice how similar this painting on the walls of Unarius headquarters is to a certain Crosby, Stills and Nash album.
Yeah, look at that. See? This is the truth, folks.
We are now inside the Unarius Academy with Leanne Stevens, a Unarius student.
Welcome, Joel.
Thank you.
Nice to meet
Nice to meet you
I'm
too.
here. I'm a representative of Uriel, who's the founder and director of Unarius, and I'm a teacher of past life therapy here. And we're going to take you on a very special tour of Unarius. But
I can hardly
in
wait.
order to tour Unarius, you have to have your spaceship. So we're going to give you a choice of one of these spaceship pins. If you hold this,
Oh boy.
what is the pin and what is
Cosmic
the type?
stewardess wings? Or they were upside down. Okay.
You went that way?
Well, that's a tie tack, isn't it? Well, this one, I like the way this one glitters more, so this one here by any particular place I'm supposed to put it.
Look like anything familiar? Like we have the Space Force now? This has all been foreseen, folks.
These brothers want it there.
Right here. And this
Right there.
spaceship pin now is a reminder that the brothers will land in the year 2001 on Earth, and they're coming in peace and love and brotherhood to help mankind on Earth. So this, when you wear this will remind everyone that you see that you're all for it, and it's a positive, wonderful development.
And why 2001?
Because by then it's determined that we'll be ready. And what we're doing today is part of getting ready. So as a representative of Uriel, I today am wearing many sparkly gems and jewels.
Those are her
ready.
jewels originally, are they not?
This is her actual jewelry, and through these sparkles, as you're watching at home, she's projecting her love, her light, her healing consciousness to each and every one of you. Very special radiation of love from Uriel to all people watching.
Thanks,
Through
Uriel.
the spaceship as well.
And why isn't Uriel here with us? She was the one I wanted to meet the most.
Yeah, really.
Well, she is here in consciousness, very much so.
Oh.
Some of the people in the room here probably can feel that radiation of power and intelligence.
My left arm is turning gold. She must be close.
Uriel is 92 years old, and this year, unfortunately, she broke her foot and her knee, so she's been bedridden as that bone is trying to heal, and she would be here otherwise.
She won't take visitors?
And she has a bullseye rash, too.
I mean, there are rumors flying around that she has been dead for a year or two, and like Scientology, there's a cover-up going on. How do you respond to that?
Preposterous.
No way, we ain't buying it.
Uriel is here, alive and well, and she is the director, as I said, of the daily operations of Unarius, our video production, our book printing, our operation of classes of past life therapy. She's very active and very involved, and even if she were not here physically, it would all go on as it has been planned to do in the future, because the body does have its terminating point, but she hasn't left.
You say her body has not terminated, you're saying?
She's very much alive.
Is her mind still all there? Because many people, when they get older in America, there is, unfortunately, Alzheimer's sometimes.
She's
Uriel's
alive.
mind is more intelligent.
Wait a
active,
minute. Could it be Denise? Think about it. How old do you think she is? Like, really? Because we don't. We don't know, y'all. I'm just throwing this out there to get the juices flowing. Y'all are all researchers, and we don't know. We don't know because something's happened. Because nobody's acting on the up and up here lately. We've got old characters coming back, and I'm telling you, so if they were here, so they landed, what'd she say, 2001 or something? That's given them plenty of time to get their YouTube channels up and running, and let's see what they're about.
And radiating intelligence that you and I could hope to be in this lifetime, but someday in the future we may need. But she is very much involved, active, alert, and she's sending her love to all of you right here and now. She doesn't need to work through one physical body. She works through many channels, as do all individuals who have a higher development of
Aha.
consciousness. They are able to project their intelligence in a very directed way. That's what we're here studying, learning how to do. That's what Unarius is about, learning how to use the mind intelligently, creatively. You as a musician, we have musicians here, we learn to use that intelligence.
Yes, I am hoping to take home a music album of what you may have created here.
We'll
See what it does to my mind. Is there any connection between Unarius and Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Because I noticed one of their album covers seems to be either taken from the mural on the outside of that wall, or vice versa.
I know what you mean. It's Gilbert Williams painted the beautiful starships coming down, and I think it looks like Machu Picchu. Gilbert Williams, who painted that picture, was very inspired when he did so, and we are painting starships here because of the same reason as the pin, to let people know that they do exist. And there are
How do you know what the starships look like? Has Uriel ever actually been on one?
Of course, in many lifetimes. Not only has she been on one, but she has been the commander of many space fleets.
Then what has prompted her to even bother with El Cajon, California, when she could be out in space cruising around somewhere?
Yeah.
Remember that when your mind develops to such a point that you're not limited to one physical body, you're working in all dimensions simultaneously.
She's okay.
Oh, so
she's like the oracle
that Unarius teaches, the science of the mind. So she isn't.
So the brain sort of has many astral tentacles, yes. In other words. And do you believe all of her teachings absolutely verbatim?
Absolutely.
Is there any disagreement within Unarius on different points made by Uriel, or is it all accepted as the word?
Well, let's start from one point. The teaching of Unarius has...
Why are they slipping around that word Uranus? They want to call it Unarius. But it's Uranus. But they're just like acting like, oh yeah, we don't notice. We just pronounce it this way.
It's been authored by millions of individuals of an advanced mental development. They've channeled their information into over 100 books. And so it's coming from quite a diversity.
But they didn't channel it directly onto the printed page at the printing press. They must have channeled it through somebody. Is that what you mean by human vessels?
Yes, and there are several individuals who serve as channels. I'm one. I've channeled several books. There are other students like myself who've learned to be open to that intelligence. Uriel herself is overshadowing, because her mind encompasses other minds. And we are speaking interdimensionally. So everyone learns at their own rate. Everyone learns the teaching of Unarius at their own pace. And they become aware of certain elements.
I think she has an Irish accent that she's trying to hide. You know, the Irish are sneaky. Not all Irish. I won't paint with a broad brush. We got one that's just, cranky as all hell, But anyway, just suspecting here because she's talking off a lot about the LARPing, and then it looks like there's a catfishing going on between her and this guy. And those well, we all know about the love affair. The Q love affair. The Q love affair that happened right here before our eyes on YouTube. But anyway, that was many cowbells and many bubble bath feet ago. Let's see what's happening. Back to the story. Breaking news.
Elements of it individually. So it's not like it's one particular facet. This is a multifaceted teaching.
What happens when her physical being does leave this planet? Who's going to take over? What will happen to the Unarius Academy here?
We will carry on with everything that's been set in motion so far. There are a number of us who are developing developing our ability to speak to people like you, to continue printing and writing books, to continue producing our television programs. Our purpose is
is
to let
any one
people
person
know.
intending to succeed her?
Not to
Has that
my
already
knowledge.
been chosen?
Not to my knowledge. It's a group consciousness. It always has been, and it always will be.
Trust the
There are
plan.
As I said, millions of brothers of light who are behind this mission to planet Earth.
Have you been on any of the spaceships?
In
Or
many
spoken
lifetimes.
to?
In many lifetimes.
But
yes.
not on this one?
Not in this present lifetime. I personally have. No, not in a physical way. But that doesn't
She's
matter
just been
because I know they're real.
tripping.
I know they exist. I know people do live on other worlds. It's only logical that we are not the only ones in the universe. But let me show you something.
What do they think of some of the crazy things we do on this planet, like mass starvation while other people hoard, like Ross Perot, hoard billions of dollars, or the Gulf War? Why don't they intercede and stop this sort of thing now?
Why not?
An intelligent being who's progressed in their evolution would never interfere in an individual's prerogative to learn through trial and error. And
All the
this is
people
our
blown
trial
to bits in Iraq didn't have a chance to learn that. Other people killed them. Isn't there a way to intercede and maybe prevent that, like what's going on in Bosnia-Herzegovina right now?
These individuals are continuing on and are learning because we don't believe in one single lifetime. These individuals are on a learning pathway. Those who kill and those who are killed have a karmic debt that will be resolved in the future. It's their responsibility. No intelligent being would ever interfere in that evolutionary prerogative. Doesn't mean that they won't come and attempt to teach and enlighten us as Buddha, Zoroaster, Jesus, many countless.
That brings me to Dr. Ernest Norman, who claimed to have been Jesus of Nazareth in the past.
There it is. Jesus of
Nazareth.
Oh, he said Nazareth, not Neptune. Just checking back with y'all. Yeah, this is there's something that's not right here. And people are following all kinds of things. And as you see here, this has been going on for centuries. The blank stare, the hey, trust the plan. But we don't know. And Wendigo, come on, man. Please, we have to move past. We have to move past, our past transgressions.
Christian cults are out there waiting for the imminent return of Jesus of Nazareth. Pat Robertson, Jerry Falwell, James Watt, and others. Why didn't they spot him when he was around? Why did they miss each other?
Yes, and when Jesus was incarnated, why did no one understand what he taught? Same thing.
A lot of those people still don't understand what he taught, as far as I'm concerned.
True. Very true. And the books here, the teachings here, returned to complete his teaching, which was cut short by the crucifixion. And it is a very scientific understanding of life and consciousness, which was not completed and brought through to this planet. So now it has been, and it's been updated in the language of the 21st century, in our more scientific language. That's why
which is what some Christians refer to as the imminent second coming, claiming that we're the last generation. And in the case of James Watt, our former Interior Secretary, used that as an excuse to justify oil drilling all up and down the California coast, strip mining national parks, etc., saying, well, because Jesus is coming back, we can ruin the earth now because then we're going to have the second coming of the Lord.
That's a new one.
You never knew he did that? He did that within about the first year of Reagan taking office and him being Secretary of the Interior. In other words, people were using this revisitation by prophets for what I would interpret as being very sinister and greedy motives. How, as Unarians, can you prevent people from using your beliefs that way if they were to gain power before the Space Brothers came back?
Well, you can't halt people from their misconceptions and their low level of intelligence. You can only try to teach them a better way. And you said it yourself.
To me, in a way, that's when something where people are innocent, people are getting hurt. or killed, or what's going on with the planet, that almost seems like a cop-out to say that, oh, we can only teach them a better way, but we're not going to intercede to stop the slaughter in the former Yugoslavia, for example. Couldn't more be done?
Well, it's that intercession that's gotten people in trouble, that overstepping the bounds and infringing on someone else's life. There's a more intelligent way, and there's a very carefully devised plan that's been in effect for over 1 million years that Jesus...
Over 1 million years. Y'all, she's starting to get on my nerves now, but she has a plan. I'm just smoking and laughing, really. And yes, Denise is from Uranus, and she's also gotten into some kind of trouble with Jesus of Neptune. So, what does she call herself? Starbase Bruja. And so, we have this is like, all right. So like in YouTube, who would be Zeus? Because I think we're coming up with our own gods now and goddesses and with different powers or something. Denise has the power of storytelling. But she's on her way out. Her ear is on the way out. I think she seems nervous lately, doesn't she? Like she's a little nervous about something. Whatever could it be? Whatever could it be? Oh dear, dear, dear. So much has come out lately. But we can listen to this lady's plan some more. And I have a feeling this guy doing the interview here, I think that he seems a bit of a troll. Y'all tell me, do you think he's like trolling her or what?
Was a part of, we are a part of, you are a part of, that is helping to enlighten the people of this planet. And it does show its effect. Look at Russia. Look at the changes in the world. There is a positive counter movement at the same time. Those are the things that it's most healthy to focus our consciousness on and to be part of that.
What about the space alien that's appeared 3 times on the cover of the Weekly World News talking to George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot? Was he one of yours, or is he an imposter?
I didn't see it, first of all.
I would have brought it otherwise.
I can't really comment on it because I didn't see it, but I do know they are notorious for designing their own covers with their cut and paste jobs.
Of course, I was just curious whether you believed it was a cut and paste job. This alleged alien also claimed that some very conservative senators, Orrin Hatch, who's devout Mormon and to the right of Jesse Helms on some issues, and Senator Sam Nunn were called fellow space aliens by this Weekly World News concoction, or perhaps real creature, who knows. And it didn't have the wide bug eyes like some of them did either. It was more like somebody with a big stocking suit on and walked off a Devo album. You know what I'm talking about in that regard. Anyway, why don't we move on to the structure behind us? Speaking of Jesse Helms, people who are frightened of sex subliminals and advertising might see this as a very sinister sort of a vessel.
Actually, this is a design of Nicola Tesla. This is a power tower that will be used in the future to actually extract energy from the universe, electromagnetic energy, convert it into usable energy in this dimension, and supply free energy for all people on this planet, which will resolve many of the problems that you brought up earlier. Now, as you know...
How big will the power tower be? What scale model is this?
This will be over, and someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong, over 500 feet tall? 2,000 feet tall.
2,000 feet tall.
500 feet into the ground. 500 feet wide at the base. Thank you very much. And this will be a magnificent structure that the Space Brothers, after they land, will help us to build. And at that time, we will be able to break through and cut through all of the opposition to this idea that you know exists at the present time.
How so? Do you intend to use brutal means to break through the opposition?
Of course not. It will be be purely a matter of people's intelligence being awakened and the full mind.
That would come in
being used.
handy.
Very much so. Shall we go on?
Well, let's talk about Tesla a little longer, because he's completely erased from science books that I was exposed to in school. I had never heard of him until a rock band named after him came out with an album. So who exactly was Nikola Tesla, and what do you see his significance as?
Nicola Tesla is one of those very advanced minds we were talking about. He incarnated at this time to bring us into the electronic age, and he is the one...
When was he alive, though?
That would have been right around the 1920s, early part of this century.
What part of Europe was he from?
Yugoslavia. And he came to America. He worked with Edison for a while. They had a falling out. Edison didn't like his ideas, and Tesla developed.
Stole them like he did the black scientist who invented the light bulb while under contract to him in his lab, but that's another story.
That's the story of planet Earth. But Tesla brought the alternating current, which has made this television possible. And his development brought us into this new age, this 20th century, into the 21st century. So Tesla's purpose, as one of the leaders of the Unarius mission, by the way,
did he proclaim himself that at the time, or have you crowned him that posthumously?
His very intelligence coming through the various books in the present. We have a series of books called Tesla
I noticed
Speaks.
that, yeah.
He has described himself as who he is. His intelligence gives you the knowledge of who he is.
Could you describe a little bit how his ideas were suppressed in his lifetime, and by whom, and for what reason?
Well, I'm not a Tesla biographer, first of all, but obviously there are those individuals in the industrial military complex who want to suppress a certain type of progress because they have money invested in certain areas.
Such as General Motors buying up patents on electric cars and shelving them.
Exactly. So those are the things that we, people of Earth, will need to overcome. And just as you are now aware of it, I am now aware of it, more of us are aware of this opposition to progress. And we will, and it's our responsibility to take steps to stop that and demand a better way of life on this planet.
In addition to Tesla, are you...
Now are you starting to understand the antenna attacks that have driven some, let's just say, not so average creatures? Now do you see these antenna attacks happen? They're real, folks. And they're grumpy after the attack for the rest of their life. They're grouches.
aware of the work of Wilhelm Reich around the same time, his device, the Orgon Accumulator.
A similar situation where here's an individual who has a spiritual development, who is trying to progress life on this planet. And it's a very old story. Jesus was crucified, others have been murdered, their work suppressed, their work distorted. Same situation. What he was trying to achieve in the cure of cancer, or the knowledge of the electromagnetic nature of the human anatomy, the human consciousness, was suppressed by those.
He seems to be almost completely omitted from your literature as well.
Well, that's just a matter of time before everything is covered, but we have covered quite a spectrum of information. Let's look at the map over here. Look at the star map of the 33 planets of the Interplanetary Confederation. These planets are in the Milky Way galaxy. Planet Earth is represented here along with all of the other 32 planets in the Interplanetary Confederation. This is the central sun, central spiritual sun.
Spiritual.
Interdimensional force field that powers the entire galaxy. And of course, there is a configuration of energy that you can keep tracing back.
She's LARPing hard.
Are there more planets and other systems that you know about too?
Absolutely.
Like some up in the surfboard up on the wall there? And do they all get along with the Space Brothers? Or, as I say, are we risking some horrible conflict by stealing their power for the cosmic power tower?
Well, planet Earth is the lowest frequency planet, and we are the laggard ones. We are the...
That's it. Now we're back to the frequency and why we need healing. healing music. That's the key right there. We need the frequencies, and um, we have to tune all of our equipment in to be at a certain megahertz, or it drives, these people batty, as you may have noticed, the ones that are attacked by antennas.
Ones who most need this teaching of a better, more peaceful way of life. So all of these other planets are more developed than ours. They're leading the way for us, and they're sending their representatives here in 2000.
My question was about the other ones that might be even more laggard that we don't even see on the chart.
Well, why should we worry about what we can't see on the chart? This is our galaxy. These are the more positive leaders of our galaxy, and this is where we are going. This is our direction.
Okay, to your left, we have a mock-up here of what appears to be flying saucers. It sort of looks like a pop music album release display you'd find at Tower Records or something, but what does it mean to you?
This is built to represent the way 33 starships will land and connect one another in a towering structure that will be 33 stories tall, and this will be the University of Unarius that the brothers will build when they land in 2001. So this is
Where does the 33rd one come from? There were 32 planets. Where's the last one?
That's a good question.
33. We just heard that earlier from our mathematician friend, Aiken Drum. As a matter of fact, it all comes back to the 33. Validation 33. Bitch.
The third ship is at the very top. It's the smallest ship. This ship is being built for our purposes, for travel around planet Earth. This ship is planet Earth's spaceship that is being built on the planet Vixal and may already have been built because we are only 9 years away from the space landing.
Okay, and this is an older video, so like they're already here. So this is a rare exclusive glimpse into what's here now. Because like what you say, they were in the beginning, they were coming here 2001 or something like that, this, right? So they're here. This is them. And as you can tell, they're, a little well, we kind of see on YouTube, we can kind of see this happening on YouTube. A lot of the different beliefs we have and whatnot, they're here and they're causing trickery.
Yeah, it seems to me if the 2001 movie is to be believed, we have an awful lot of advances to go in the next 9 years if we're going to make it to Jupiter or whatever.
A lot can happen in a short space of time, as we've seen in the last year. Quite a bit has changed on this planet that we never expected to happen so quickly, and that's how quickly we can move forward once we're willing.
With me now is Dr. Charles Spagel, known to students as Antares. Tell us a little about this painting here. That's supposed to be you, isn't it?
That was me.
Was you?
This is a depiction of an individual who's known as Tyrantus. He had many names throughout his evolutionary development and descent.
Wasn't that long ago you were Tyrantus in the flesh, weren't you? We have leader of the entire 100 planets of the Orion constellation, known to some as Satan. Orion War Conference table here. Almost seems to be going out of your way to look like a Hollywood version of what the devil might actually look like. Were you once Satan?
I was known as Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Napoleon. Even
So this is what happens when Satan retires. This guy thinks he was Satan, and you know what? Maybe he is, because he is the great deceiver. And he's trolling, LARPing.
you're deceived. These are all people who lorded over the masses and used their so-called powers to advance themselves in society. They eventually attempt to rule the then present world.
And so you're saying there's not just one Satan, like the Bible seems to imply, but there are many.
No, there is one Satan. There was one individual who generated so many different personalities, but the Bible is a misrepresentation of the reality that Satan is a depiction of the lower self, the dark self, the angry self that exists within all people. We were.
So you don't feel that Satan liked himself very much then?
Well,
did he enjoy his work?
Up until the time that this painting shows how he was reawakened.
By Uriel,
by Uriel, the cosmic visionary, the healing archangel, and it has been heard.
I miss when Mike was the dark one. Does anybody else? I'm just saying. He was a lot more fun as the dark one. But that's okay. Happy journeys, Mike, on your stairway to heaven.
Purpose throughout hundreds of thousands of years to come back to rescue not only Tyrantus, as he was known at this time, but all of those individuals who he took down the left-hand path. In other words, he blotted out the purpose of progressive evolution.
But how do we know that Tyrantus, or even yourself, are not simply pretending to have changed in order to fool people in this life and continue your devilish ways?
Devilish ways. And this is where all the Mandela effect comes in as well. With their trickery.
Example, by as has been stated by Jesus of Nazareth, the proof of your present consciousness is in the works, what you do. I should make a point and make this statement. That book that you were looking at, Pictorial Tour Lunaris, contains photographs of what we call past life therapy.
He's wearing a hairpiece. That would be just like Satan too, wouldn't it? Like just right there in your face, like duh.
These were psychodramas that we actually filmed of our past.
Right.
See, I am not living the life of Tyrantus, so on these paths. I'm working them out by identifying myself as well as all the students.
Well, some of the students, and I think even Uriel, when going through their past lives, there seems to be a remarkable number of famous people and celebrities that pop up rather than ordinary folks, and in some cases, characters out of literature or paintings rather than flesh and blood human beings. How do you explain that?
But in this picture, though, doesn't it look like he's begging her, and she's like, just get the fuck away from me, I don't know. What do you see in this painting? Because he's not on top. She is. And, she doesn't really look worried. She's just, bothered. You again, I don't know. And then look at this. He thinks that this was him. Am I following this right? Because there's supposed to be many of them, so they think they're devils.
Many of these people were not the individuals who were portraying them. However, the negatively biased people are not famous. We have to use the word infamous. These people have heavy karma. Their lives are overshadowed by dark clouds and terrible guilt and so on.
Now we're getting somewhere. They're dark. And again, as we see on YouTube, there's some people that just the darkness just surrounds them.
But why the preoccupation with celebrities? Almost everybody I've ever known who's felt that they've had past life experiences, they'll cite Michelangelo, they'll cite movie stars. One woman I knew never forgave me when I pointed out that Greta Garbo was still alive when and she insisted she was a reincarnation of Greta Garbo.
Well, you're speaking of two opposite aspects of life, positive forces. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, the great teachers, artists, those people are not ones who have detoured man's consciousness. See, those are the leaders, and they're the teachers. They're the inspirational forces of the Unarius Brotherhood. The negative people.
So this is still the Unary, like the. It's Uranus, but they keep calling it Uranus. Oh my goodness. How far we've come. And you know what? This all probably took place like in Boston or something. All right, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I want to see the next. Do we have more characters? I really can't take it because, oh God. Okay, here we go. This is my favorite. This is what I got most out of. um, Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with gas.
That's what got me, because it answered the question, and that is, what is life? What's it all about? Why do I feel unhappy, distressed? Why am I agitated? And I don't seem to have any objectives in life.
So in a sense, you were sort of born again.
Everybody is. We're all born again. You can't die, don't you see? And that's what Unarius answers. It answers the very question that everyone is attempting to resolve, and that is, what is life? How am I involved in life? Why can't I get along?
I do admire the sense of fashion of Unarius. It certainly is a lot more creative than most places I've seen. What inspired this fashion to begin with? Especially Uriel's purple beehive wigs.
What? Yeah. This is a hard ass LARP, man.
And you were saying in the costume room that I was performing or experiencing a psychodrama just on the basis of which ones I was picking out, wishing I could take home. Does this mean I was Satan in a past life too? Okay. One of the two of you on the video of one of the gatherings talked about how important it was that once you joined Unarius, you no longer felt the need to have long hair. Why was it so bad to have long hair, and why was it such a cleansing experience to get a preppy dude?
I can't hear him.
By having the long hair, I was always into that same negative experience. When I had a bad experience, what happened to me was I was executed in a street style in China.
That was inconvenient.
Oh.
Before I was executed, my hair was severed, my head was chopped off. So by regrowing that hair as a symbol of pride, as a sort of a manly
Y'all, I needed this laugh. I'm sorry. What is that?
Maybe it was sunny California and the ozone layer disappearing. It was just, since you have dark hair, it was just all that heat reflecting off.
This has to be a LARP.
Hey. Kind of looked a little bit like Axel with a mustache.
Oh, California. There you go.
That could get you in a lot of trouble if a cop pulled you over and couldn't tell it was you at all. My collar fell down. What does that all mean? Yeah, because that was one thing I found, like, in some of the confessionals on the video, to it struck me as being a little bit sinister when people were completely disowning everything that seemed to be both negative and positive about how they were living before joining the Unarius Academy, which sort of reminded me of the very dark side of fundamentalist Christianity. In other words, that is at times acting as though you had allowed yourselves to possibly be brainwashed. Yes.
The only thing I gave up was that was older than that. Drugs, an obsession with heavy metal that was only clouding my mind. And number two,
heavy metal always clears mine, but go on.
Well, I was into Black Sabbath, really, really heavy metal, and I used to get sleep, so I was just part of my consciousness all the time. What you said earlier about celebrities, I don't think anybody in this group here has really lived a famous life. And if we have, we don't really talk about it. All my lives have been fairly common, but it's been a real unraveling to find out which ones they were, because every life holds a key. Every key has opened up a door and has made me a better person to find out who I've been, even though it may have only been Florida.
All right, these people are definitely brainwashed. But you can see here the beginnings of the LARP and how deep it can go. And some of these people are delving pretty deep. And I just like to say that I don't mean this in any harmful way, but I got timed out for saying okra from a person who went on a freedom of speech tour. I have to laugh at it, because if I don't, God only knows. They don't really want to fight. They have all the answers in this this little clip that we just saw. It's kind of like they have all the answers. And hold on, let me remove this. And so there's really no point asking them, because it's almost like you're speaking in a different language, and they just want to fight and argue. And if I don't want to have a garden, I just won't have a garden. I mean, if I'm I've never seen the most pathetic attacks as I have this week. And maybe COVID, whatever it is, there is another species among us. They're very paranoid. They're not very smart. They're cunning. They play games, and they don't have like a whole lot else to say about much of anything at all. And they're out there. So whether you want to consider this a public announcement of sorts, you can see it that way. I don't know what y'all are seeing. Do you not see like there's some big shakedown going down since Robert David Steele? Since he passed away? There's a shakedown going on, y'all. There's a shakedown. There's people that's nervous. And I know who you are. But I don't know. I don't know. And if I did know, I'd laugh about it. Because if you don't laugh about it, I mean, they're from Uranus. But they keep wanting to call it. They won't call it Uranus. They called it something else. They tried to be more pleasant about it. And you'll notice that happens here on YouTube too. The people with perfect lives, there's like all these people with these perfect lives, their perfect gardens, and their they have a lot of opinions, don't they? And projections. And they like to do that. That's okay. That's okay though. I saw Denise. Denise is mad again at just me. I'll keep names out of this. And they're fighting. And other people are fighting. Always fighting. But I don't know why. I can't, like, can anyone keep up with it? And then if you do, it just changes and it's, look, there's going to be a lot that's going to come out about a lot of things. And it ain't going to be pretty. So I think that some people are trying to salvage some stuff. And don't try to bullshit a bullshitter. Mm-mm. No. No, no, no. Some of the other things I've been seeing is just like nonsense. The same old stuff. Crying and crying about a lot of different things. Not taking ownership. Hypocrites. But the thing is, if you go into specifics like who you're talking about or whatever, then it becomes a personal attack, and then feelings get hurt, and a lot of people put their feelings out on YouTube, so which is the most silliest thing ever. Okay, so how far do they take this fighting? Do you ever wonder? Like, it's like a pecking order. Who's going to get the teeth? You know? And then what's in it for them? I have no idea. Like they're going to climb the YouTube ladder or something. But we do have treachery afoot. Treachery is afoot. They're gearing up for another brouhaha, whatever. And foreign powers are involved. But we'll all just pretend that that doesn't happen in this country. Because we're the greatest. And foreign powers would never penetrate our force fields. Well, I got news for you folks. Treachery is afoot. And it's trickled all the way down here to YouTube now. And it's just a matter of time before it all comes out again. And that'll be that. And everybody's pointing fingers at each other too. You work for Thomas. No, you work for Thomas. No, you work for Defango. No, you work for Lepo. You're playing game 23. These people are lost in their, like, they don't realize that most of the people on YouTube are just everyday people trying to get by. Just because there's a microphone and we know how to use it, we know how to use StreamYard, doesn't make anybody like a secret agent. All right? But it does give voice to some, and we know the power of alternative media is, but all of our little channels and everything else is just how far somebody wants to take their beliefs and try to cram it down somebody else's throat. They're triggered easily. They can't just, talk once in a while and just talk. Like, just talk about whatever, I would have a barbecue, but You don't even want to know my situation with my weeds. Oh my God. It's like a jungle. It's some invasive something. It's driving me nuts. But anyways, we all have our own stuff going on. I do anyway. I talk to other people. They do. And this other stuff is just the attack after attack and the stalking that is so like blatant. Like all of a sudden, you show up in the chat room and then that person's there judging on whether you will grow your own food or not. And um uploading stupid videos from way back when. I had to laugh at it. I laughed at it quite a bit today, as a matter of fact. Again, I had a great day. And I haven't smoked in a long time. So I'm having a good time. And I thought I would just pass that on, that I do watch and see what's going on and the hypocrisy. I just don't want to roll around in it. It's gotten pretty disgusting. And I don't even know, like, I think that it should just become YouTube. Like that's what YouTube is now. Like when you have to go to the restroom, you go to YouTube. When you want to do actual content or whatever, it's a different platform. And I was almost there. I was so close, y'all, but I have a plan and it's going to come together for me. I just need to get a few things and then I'm going to be out on the town. Anyways, that's my plan. And maybe have a few guests or something at a later date. And then even then, I enjoy my private conversations with people anymore. YouTube is just something that I throw out for fun and laughs and whatever. And whoever wants to join, and even if they fight, it can get ugly, but it'll end quickly. Because I don't want that. But I don't know. A lot of the backstabbing, a lot of the weird, just lying just to lie, and like everybody sees it. You don't even have to. You don't even have to talk about it. Totally bizarre. Then using wow. The lowest I saw this week was somebody, and I won't even say her name, using that missing child, that Summer Wells, for clickbait, and absolutely disgusting. Um, Portrayal of, let's just say, journalism. It's gone to shit. And there's no code. And they just turn it into smut or whatever. So anyways, once again, I'm still working my way back to Twitch, but I got stuff going on in my personal life. Been doing household projects. Oh, and I did enjoy a few other videos I saw of other people that have their projects, like from start to finish. And I always forget to take before pictures. And then it just kind of ruins the after. So, anyways, one of these days I'll get there. But for right now, I just had to laugh. Um, Bon voyage to Shark Belly Kelly. And everybody's awful quiet about what the horrible, nasty things they said uh, leading up to that. But that shows character. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. And if it were over anything important or had any merit, uh, that would be one thing. But that's not how it went down. And they'd like nothing more than to have that just smoothed over. Let's just all forget about it. Let's just all forget what I did for, the lulls. Yeah, other people see it too. I ain't the only one. So just know that. I ain't the one. So going forward, it's back to work. I guess Biden cut off the unemployment or whatever benefits. A lot of benefits. I don't know. I just saw a headline, and a lot of people are going to be hurting. So whatever. Fight, 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 fight amongst each other. See how far that gets you. So, time has come. Put up or shut up, America. That's all I got to say. Right or left. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. I'll play an outro and I'm out of here. Let's see.
Yes, sir. Well, if the wife and I are fussing, buddy, that's all right. Me and that woman got a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. Well, if you're minding your business, then you won't be minding